Alright. Hello, and welcome back to take 3 of the finale. Last time, I went to pause the video to go get a drink and accidentally stopped it instead of pausing it. Luckily, I didn't get too far, so... Of course, the first attempt got all the way to, I'd say, about a quarter or about 3/4 of the way through the ending, but all I was doing was complaining almost to the point of whining about it, so let's not do that. Let's do this right, have some fun with it, or at least try to. So yeah, take 3 of what will be a longer video because it will include the final boss battle and the ending. Of course, since last time, I did find a save file at max levels. Yeah, I know. Overpowered, overleveled all the way. People who watch my video should be used to that by now. I mean, what RPG have I played where I haven't been ridiculously overleveled throughout most of it, especially by the end? Yeah. And yes, I realize I'm passing up a lot. Like that chest down there, which as soon as you open it, you trigger a boss battle with an optional super boss, if I'm remembering correctly. So I am skipping a lot here. If you want a 100% playthrough, well then, to be honest, none of my playthroughs will be suffice, except for maybe Portrait of Ruin and Super Metroid. I think those are the only 2 games, rather, that I've ever done playthroughs of where I did at least attempt a 100%. Yeah. No such luck. Take 2, I made it through here without a single random battle. Really don't need the ability points. We already are maxed out on every ability there is in the game. Of course, that's been the case for quite a while now, but yeah, like I was saying just earlier today, take 1 of this finale complained a little too much, even for my liking. So listening to the finished video, I was cringing at my own commentary. I mean, I always do that to an extent anyways, but with this even more than ever. It's like, really? I sound like a big frickin' baby. There's no way I could upload this video. No way. I'd never hear the end of it. Rightfully so. So here I am again, doing it all over again, but... Alright. The final boss battle coming up. Well, first an abundance of cutscenes. Which, although I went a little bit overboard with my gripes against it last time, or the first time, not going to do that this time, but I am going to point out what I already have many times over. I hate. There is no word strong enough in the English language or any other language known to man to describe how much I hate unskippable cutscenes. Gaming companies that do that should be punished by revoking their license to publish games for a full calendar year from January 1st to December 31st, and all 363 days in between, or 364 on leap years. That'll teach them to make, next time they make a game, to make their cutscenes skippable. You can have as many of them as you want, like Metal Gear games. Be like half cutscene and half gameplay. Fine, as long as you make each and every cutscene skippable. I'm late. I didn't know I was being timed. What? Yeah, good for you. Rule the world. What of it? By the time you're done, there won't be nothing left to rule, you idiot. Oh, that's right, he's a giant tree. Yeah. Great. A tree with an attitude. What is this, the Wizard of Oz? In that forest that they go through? Hey, apples! Go to pick one. How would you like to have someone come along and pick something off of you? Yeah. Oh, here we go with this crap again. Dude! You want to rule the world. Fine, typical villain in a story, be it a movie, a video game, novel, book. Fine. You want to rule the world, typical villain attitude. But the rate you're going, there's not going to be anything left to rule. You're already wiping out all the... When it comes to story villains, this guy has got to be the dumbest of them all. Not going to be anything left by the time you're done. Moron. We're already here, you... What do you mean disappear into the void? We're already here. We have been since the moment we flew our airship into that black hole-like thing on the world map. What? We're in outer space now. Huh? How do we get out here? Oh, goody. Now we're seeing ghosts, too. Yay. Okay. Fine. Where'd he come from? What? Where'd he come from? He wasn't there earlier. Alright. Now. Well, I can't use a tent or anything like that since there's no save point here, but... Alright, fine. Okay. Alright, we're back up to full HP and MP. Let's do this! X-Death. I still say, could they have possibly thought of a more stark and generic name for the final boss, like Chaos in Final Fantasy 1? mimic that. Oh shoot, that's right. Dang it, I forgot to change that. Oh well, too late now. Did that in one of the earlier takes, but changed Lena's weaponry around a bit. Oh well. Should be good enough, I hope. The power of nothingness. Really? Is that including intellect? The power of nothingness? You definitely seem to have that. And of course, typical video game final boss, multi-phase. Yay. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Damn, you ugly. Holy crap. I think you looked better as a tree. Yeah, dang it. Multi-target. Oh, soon. There we go. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Laws of physics. Really? What do video games know about the laws of physics? We can walk on lava, for frick's sake. We can carry an arsenal of weapons and shields and armor with us and still be able to fight. Again, what do video games know about physics and reality? Grand Cross. Sounds like something out of the Castlevania game. Oh, great. Cryo Kara has been turned into a frog. Nice. Luckily, I have plenty of those. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I forgot it does that. Spamming Bahamut. Why not? As always in video games. Damn, he has a lot of hit points. I guess you gotta expect that for a final boss. Uh-oh. Not again. Damn it. Damn. 60 points of damage. Not bad for a toad. Wait a minute, no, Bars. No, not that either. Dang it. Is that it? Yep. He dead. Game over, a-hole. And now for the long and lengthy ending. Which again is the main reason I'm redoing this video. Is last time all I did is complain about how long the ending is. A little too long perhaps, but at least it's better than old games where the ending was so brief. It was, thanks Link, you're the hero of Hyrule. Yeah. It's like, what? That's it? So it's nice by the late 80s into the early 90s they started having more elaborate endings, but yeah. Okay, why hasn't this part been translated? What? Did the translators forget about this part? Obviously. Wait a minute, we're dead? What? What is this, one of the alternate endings for Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest? Okay, we're just knocked out, I guess. Okay, we can fly around in outer space without spacesuits, okay? Shouldn't be. I mean, everything should go back to normal now, right? You would think. Yeah. And again, need I repeat, so much for the so-called laws of physics. I mean, we're flying around in outer space without any kind of spacesuits or breathing apparatuses. I mean, so much for reality. Yeah. Trying to be poetic. Wait a minute, there was never a crystal there. What? Okay. There was never a crystal there either. That was one of the tablets we needed. Again, that was one of the tablets, not one of the crystals. I don't know, maybe in World 2, Gallup's world, maybe there were crystals there, I guess. I don't know. Since we couldn't access those dungeons until stage 3 anyways. Speaking of which, if everything is going back to the way it was, that should mean the two planet worlds are being separated again, like they were at the start of the game. Galuf and Kara both came here by meteorites, which in and of itself is preposterous, but okay, fine. I guess it's going back to the way it was before it got separated in the first place, like Exdeath was hinting at when we first fought him in his world. They turn into dragons? What? What is going on here? In the basement of Galuf's castle? That's what that looks like. There was never a crystal there either. That was where we got one of, what was it, the Odin summon, I think it was? What, they're going to live there now? So what? Cryo Kara is going to be queen now? Since her father or grandfather died? Oh no, not that. Not that. It was all a dream. Oh, good God, no. One of the most overused cliches in storytelling, be it video games, movies, novels. It was all a dream. None of it ever yeah, whatever. The Moogle Forest is back. That was one of the first places X-Death attacked after that first dungeon in the Combined World phase, Act 3. Yep, everything's back to normal. Oh yeah, that's right. Her crew at the start of the game. Oh, that's... Dang it, that reminds me. At some point, I could have went back and talked to them and got some item or whatever. I forgot all about that until just now. Oh well, too late now. I mean, it's not like I'm going to reset this and go back. Yeah. Whatever it was you got from them, you obviously didn't need, so eh. Oh, they're just now having that. We heard about this at the start of Act 3 when we saw the, what was it, Boko going back into that cave. Oh, it's already been a year? Okay. That was a fast year. Okay. Now we're remembering past events, I guess. That happened long ago. Yeah, this was all back in Galuf's world. Act 2. Yeah. I never did go through that sequence early on in the game. At the point when it was possible, it would have been a spoiler for that plot scene, or that plot twist rather. Oh yeah, the start of Act 3. And I still say, at the risk of sounding like a heartless a-hole, it's very hard to me to have any sympathy for that, whatever, Hydra, Dragon, Hiru, a sea serpent that can't swim. Really? All that's left of Galuf. After that potentially annoying Crystal boss. Yeah. Contrary to my endless whining in take one of this video, I do like that games have more elaborate endings. Well, actually, this is even a recent game. This came out in Japan in 1992. Granted, we here in America didn't get it for another 7 years. Like I've said many times already, 1999 PS1. But I do like that games have longer, more elaborate endings these days. But not like old games like Kid Icarus or the NES original Metroid or the original Zelda game. Ending was so brief you hardly even noticed it was even, well, not really that. You get the idea though. Thanks, Link, you're the hero of Hyrule. Another quest starts from here. Push the start button. Yeah. Or NES original Metroid. But all you got, depending on what percentage and how fast you beat the game, revealed that Samus was a lady, which was, unfortunately had a bigger deal made about it than it should have. But yeah, in a day where Solid Snake, Mega Man, Link, Mario, where most of the video game protagonists were dudes, suddenly here's a lady kicking just as much ass as they are, and yeah, wow, yeah. Unfortunately, it was a bigger deal than it should have been, but yeah. Even in this game with Ferris, when you first meet her, trying to act like a guy, like that cutscene they showed earlier in the ending sequences here. Yeah, that I didn't go through at the time because it would have been a spoiler to that whole plot twist. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of take one of this is about as far as I made it before I just shut the game off. Another one of the reasons I decided to redo this video. Not only was I complaining too much, almost to the point of whining, but I cut the ending short and rambled on a little bit more after. Yeah. I'm telling you, if I had uploaded that video, negativity in the comments would have never ended. Yeah. Everybody who watched the video would have, including I myself, started watching it to see how it came on. I'm like, oh no, I cannot upload this. So here I am redoing it. Yeah. So again, we're back to the solidarity and existence of all things depend on those crystals. Yeah. Final Fantasy 1, 3, 4, 5, and Mystic Quest side game. You think Squaresoft overdid that crystals idea? Only 4 out of the first 5 games in the main series, and one of the original side games. Yeah, if those crystals shatter, we're all doomed. And actually, thinking better of that, Actually, in Final Fantasy 1, the crystals weren't shattered, but the light from them was depleted. That was the whole point in the game, restoring them. Yep. I already made it further into the ending than I did in Take 1. Oh yeah, now we're to the credits. Which in and of itself is another sign of how far video games have come. I mean, in the early days, the aforementioned games like Zelda and Kid Icarus and Metroid, the credits were over in maybe a minute? I don't know. I've never actually timed them, but very brief. There's only a few people that worked on the game anyways. Nowadays, I mean, games like this are even more recent games. Like the last game I completed, Etrian Odyssey 1 HD Remaster. Credits went on forever. Long gone are the days where one or two people could make it an entire game. Yeah. I mean, they probably still could today, but it would take even longer. I mean, games take long enough to make as it is. Look at Breath of the Wild. Took how many, or even Metroid Prime 4 more recently than that. Took 7, 8 years to make Prime 4? Long gone are the days when, at least in Japan, Final Fantasy 1, 1987, Part 2, 1988, late 1988, Part 3, early 1990, almost every year a new game was coming out in that series. Now you're lucky if you get a new game every 3 or 4 years. Anyways, good game. Like any game, it has its issues, so to speak. Unskippable cutscenes. Some of those boss battles, RPG jank. Yeah. But overall, I would still say it's the second best game in the Final Fantasy series, topped only by Part 7. Of course, with all of the first 6 games, I prefer the more recent Pixel remaster, where you can play with of course, I have been playing with the original music since this is the original version of the game, but you can increase by 4 the amount of experience points and money you earn for each battle, and turn off random battles if you want to, and all of those little quality of life upgrades they added to the Pixel remasters. Of course, my only gripe with them is that they cut out all of the bonus dungeons from the Game Boy Advance remakes of the games. Why they did that, I don't know, but I mean, it's true, you only have to watch my playthrough of Final Fantasy 1, for which I played the Game Boy Advance version of. I wasn't a fan of the idea that each dungeon had at least a couple bosses, but to fight them all, you had to go through the dungeon that many times, since there was no way to. Oh yeah. All of the stats and abilities learned throughout the playthrough, and what job class they were at the end. Again, yeah. Max levels. Again, should be used to that by now for those who have been watching my playthroughs for any long enough period of time. What RPG have I done where I wasn't extremely leveled, if not max levels. Yeah. Frick, even the Castlevania, Metroidvania RPG-esque games like Portrait of Ruin or Aria of Sorrow. Yeah. Speaking of which, that's another game I could play through someday. Dawn of Sorrow, the sequel to that one. Of course, I'd have to have some kind of hack or code to bypass that drawing those symbols to finish off each boss battle. Yeah. Which is one of the main reasons I haven't done a playthrough of that game yet. Of course, that list of abilities there scrolling on the right side of the screen, that's all 100 abilities. Yeah. I did 100% that. Didn't fight every enemy or find every treasure chest, but oh well. Don't really care to. So many of them are too far out of the way, and all you get for your effort is a potion or some menial trinket that you could have just as easily bought at any item shop throughout the game. Big deal. Some of those late game ones, like in the final dungeon I pointed out earlier in this very video, you have to fight some janky super boss. Yay! That's another thing. I'm still kind of hesitant, resistant to this whole idea of super bosses in general. If they're stronger than the final boss, how come they're not the main villain of the game? I'm sorry, disagree with me if you will, but no boss, no enemy should be tougher to beat than the final boss of the game. Kind of the contradiction there. Emerald weapon in Final Fantasy VII. I mean, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't played that game. A couple uses of Knights of the Round and Sephiroth, the final boss of the game, is toast. Emerald weapon, haha. You barely scratched the surface, so to speak. Which is... Anyways, the end of the game and this playthrough series. Oh, it really is the end. Can't just hit the start button to go back to the main menu. Okay. Alright. Well, another series done. And like I said a couple times in the last video or two, next playthrough will probably be a Zelda game or something other than RPGs. I mean, I love RPGs, that much should be obvious, but getting kind of and it was hard not to show that in take one of this video. After finishing Secret of the Stars, the other game I'm currently doing a playthrough of. Yeah. Well, frick, even now, maybe start a playthrough of A Link Between Worlds, the 3DS Zelda game. Part Link to the Past remake, part new game. A game I've always wanted to do, but with the older computers I had, it ran too sluggishly, even for me. I mean, I'm the last person to complain about low frame rates and whatnot. But when I have issues with it, you know it's bad for anybody else. But now with this newer computer I just got, you know, it actually runs a lot better, so yeah. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time for probably Zelda, A Link Between Worlds Probably. Unless I think of another game between now and then, but yeah. Take care, stay safe, and all that kind of friendly stuff like that there. Thanks for watching, and bye.